So hello everyone, welcome to yet another live with THiNC Institute of Design. As promised, today we are going to basically discuss about some of the previous year questions that were asked in JEE for BR entrance exams. So we have with us Nishtha ma'am who would be taking us through those questions. But please note that along with that, you can also post in, if you have any questions, if you have any doubts and all, you can post it in the live chat box. If there are any questions pertaining to the questions, the previous year questions that are being discussed, please feel free to interact with the faculty also. And please note that we have a new batch that's coming up on the 20th of March for both JEE Paper 2, that's for BR, and NATA, that's coming up. That will be starting from the 20th of March. So the admissions are open. You can contact us at 8086111488. So with that, I would like to take this opportunity to hand over the session to ma'am. Nishtha ma'am, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am, the stage is all yours. Thank you.
Hello students, I am architect Nishtha Joshi. I am a conservation architect and I work with heritage monuments and I also work with cultural heritage. I am an alumnus of the prestigious School of Planning and Architecture, Bhopal. And today I am here in front of all of you to discuss some very important questions related to your upcoming architectural entrance exams. Those are JEE Paper 2 and NATA. So we will be discussing some important questions today, and we'll also try to understand how we can find out the answers to some of the confusing questions that are there in our coming exams. There is a possibility that we might not know the answers to many questions, but there are many different ways in which we can deduce the correct answer. So we'll also be learning that in this session. If you have any doubts, you can always ask those to me and I'd be very happy to clear them. And without wasting any more time, I'll just share my screen and let's start discussing these questions. So I hope you are able to see my screen. These very important questions are brought to you from THiNC Institute of Design, and I'm sure that they will be very helpful for you in your coming exams. So let's see what the first question for the day is. Amar Jawan Jyoti, which was conceptualized and constructed after Indo-Pakistan War of 1971, is now merged with the flame of. And there are four questions, there are four options in front of you. A lot of times it happens that the four options are very close to each other or they are very confusing. You need to remember all the keywords in such times. The four options in front of you are New Parliament Building, B. National War Memorial, C. Wagha Border Punjab, and D. Rashtrapati Bhavan. Now the key word in this question is Amar Jawan Jyoti. And what was Amar Jawan Jyoti made for? First of all, you need to know that this was something that was made in front of the India Gate in New Delhi. And Amar Jawan Jyoti was a memorial fire that was lit to commemorate the death and give respect and homage to the dead soldiers who have bravely fought for Indian Army. So there is only one option which is related to something like that. That is option B, that is National War Memorial. So now this flame has been merged with the National War Memorial. This is an image of the Amar Jawan Jyoti. And this is the correct answer in front of you. That is option B, National War Memorial. Let's see what the next question is. Which amongst the following author has written the famous book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities? So it needs to be some American author. The options in front of you are Charles Correa, Richard Mayer, Laurie Baker, or Jane Jacob. Can anyone tell me what the right answer is? This is the picture of the cover of this book, The Death and Life of Great American Cities. And yes, some of you have already given me the right answer. That is option B, Jane Jacob. Question 3. The Hall of Nations in Pragati Maidan at New Delhi was designed essentially a three-dimensional space with unit of. And the options are a spheroid, a decahedron, an octahedron, or a tetrahedron. First of all, you need to know that Pragati Maidan in New Delhi was made by a very famous and very celebrated Indian architect. You also need to remember the names of these famous buildings and the architects who have made it. This is the picture of the architect, and by now all of you must have guessed that it is Raj Rival. And below you can see the sketch that was made by Sir Raj Rival himself while he was designing this building. And yes, the correct answer is option D, a tetrahedron. The next question. Write the full form of CPCB. There are 4 options in front of you. And as I was saying that many a times these options are very close to each other and are very confusing. So try to read them very carefully. Option A is Center Polluted Control Board. Option B is Central Pollution Control Board. Option C is Central Polluted and Control Board. And option D is Center for Pollution and Climate Board. So which one do you think is the right answer for this question? I will just show you the logo. This is basically a government organization that works towards a clean environment at the national, state, and district levels. And the right answer is option B, Central Pollution Control Board. Let's move to the next question. The Basilica of Bom Jesus, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is located in which state of India? Option A, Daman, option B, Kerala, option C, Goa, and option D, Andaman and Nicobar Island. Since it's a basilica, you also need to think that this must be a region where Catholic dominance was there in India. And Basilica of Bom Jesus is very famous. It is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So it's definitely very, very significant. I'll just show you an image of the basilica. And as you can see, this is made out of red bricks, and some parts of it, like the pediment and some elements on the roof, are made out of red sandstone. And yes, the right answer is option C, that is Goa. So you also need to read about all the UNESCO World Heritage Sites that are in India. You must know the name of all kinds of UNESCO World Heritage Sites. And if you can memorize the year of their nomination, that is also very great, because many questions come on the basis of the UNESCO World Heritage Sites as well. The next question is, the Vitruvian Man is a drawing made by which of these 4 famous people? Rembrandt, Raphael, Leonardo da Vinci, or Picasso? Vitruvian Man is a very famous and very important concept in the field of design and architecture. And almost everything in these design fields is made on the basis of the Vitruvian Man. This is an original sketch and writing by the artist himself. And Vitruvian Man is basically the anthropometric study of human body, on the basis of which everything can be efficiently designed for human beings. And yes, the right answer is Leonardo da Vinci. He was born as an Italian in the year 1452, and he was not just an architect or an artist, but he was also an Italian painter. He was a draftsman, sculptor, and after that, he was also an architect and an engineer. And his skills and intelligence were of very great prominence in his time, and he was also pioneer of the Renaissance style of architecture. Next question. In which of the following Indian state the Garo Khasi range is located? So this is basically a mountain range, and you have to tell that in which of these northeastern Indian states does this mountain range lie? Your options are Mizoram, Meghalaya, Nagaland, and Manipur. Yes, the right answer is option B, Meghalaya. I'll just show you a map of Meghalaya in India. And as you can see, the entire state of Meghalaya is situated on a hilly or a mountainous region. And there are many hill ranges in this. And as you can see on your screen, there are many hill ranges that, like the West Garo Hills, the West Khasi Hills, and the West Jaintia Hills. So this is the Indian state, which is the home for the Garo and Khasi mountain range. Buildings situated in hills will require to consider which of the following phenomena primarily. So this is a kind of question where more than one options can be correct. The question is asking that if you are someone who's building on a hilly or a mountainous region, what all considerations you need to keep in mind. Option A is tsunami, option B is hail, option C is high tide, then landslide, dust storm, and snow. Now we all know which all things can naturally occur on a hilly or mountainous region. Those things are B, hail, D, landslide, and F, snow. So which one of these options will be the correct answer? Absolutely right. It's option C, B, D, and F. Let's look at the next question. The Vienna Peace Congress was held during which of the following years? So Vienna Peace Congress is very significant for international history and international politics. And as you can see, the options are very close to each other. 1813 to 14, 1814 to 15, 1815 to 16, and 1812 to 1813. So how will you know which year is that? Since it is such a significant landmark thing that has happened in the world history, this is something that you need to read about. And this happened after the death of Napoleon Bonaparte. And this conference was basically held to maintain peace in this region. This was basically a peace accord. And this happened in the year 1814 to 15. So yes, many of you have already given me the right answer. That's option B. Which of the following is the longest river of peninsular India? So peninsula is the region in India which lies in South India. And there are names of the 4 rivers. Now, I'm sure that you must have read about these rivers in your geography class, even in school, and you might be knowing where all 4 of these rivers lie in our country. So option A is Narmada, then there's Godavari, there's Mahanadi, and there's Tapi. Now we know that not all of these rivers flow in southern India, and we already know that the peninsula, the triangular shape in the map of India, lies in the southern part of India. This is a picture of the river that we are talking about, and yes, exactly, the right answer is B, Godavari. You must know that Godavari is also known as Dakshin Ganga because it is a very, very pious and important river, and it is also the second longest river in India after the Ganga. Next question. The summer solstice, the sun rises in which direction? East, west, far to the northeast, or far to northwest? As we all know that in the Indian subcontinent, the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. But something different happens during the summer solstice and the winter solstice, which are respectively the longest day of the year and the longest night of the year. So I'll just show you a diagram to tell you how there is a slight tilt when the sun is rising and setting. It is never at a 90-degree angle. There's always a slight deviation in the angle when the sun rises and sun sets. And normally this is towards the north direction. That is, sun travels from east to north and then south. But during the summer solstice, the sun rises in the north of east and slightly far from northeast. So the correct answer will be option C, that is far to the northeast. Another question, very interesting, and there are many such questions that come in both JEE and NATA exams. And these questions are some of the simplest to crack. They might look very difficult. Let's look what this question is asking us. You have to match the architectural style given in list 1 with the famous building in list 2. So just try to find the keywords or try to look for buildings that you already know about. Options in list A are industrial building style, brutalist style, bioarchitecture style, or Gothic architecture style. And the buildings are the Berlin Brain Library, Westminster Abbey, Eiffel Tower, and Secretariat Building. So you can deduce this answer. How can you do that? Let's look at the most famous example, that is the Eiffel Tower. Now we know that Eiffel Tower belongs to the industrial building style. Let's look at another famous example of a building, that is Westminster Abbey. We know that Westminster Abbey is something that is derived from the Gothic style of architecture. So we already know 2 of these things, well, 2 of the correct answers. So let's try to look at the options. Let's try to see in which of these 2 matches are there. And from that, we can make out what the other 2 are. So as you will see that these 2 are there in only one option. A is matching with 3 and D is matching with 2, only in option C. These are a few images of the Berlin Brain Library and the Westminster Abbey. You can see the typical Gothic architectural features in the Westminster Abbey. And the correct answer for this question, as we already discussed, is option C. That is, A is 3, B 4, C 1, and D 2. So in this way, you can deduce these confusing type of questions as well. It is not as difficult as it looks. Next question. There are 2 statements in front of you and you have to tell if they are right or wrong. Statement 1 says Taj Mahal is placed on the northern extremity of the Bagh instead of middle to take advantage of the river bank. And statement 2 says the white marble of Taj Mahal is used to achieve contrast with the red sandstone of the surrounding structures. I'm going to give you a moment to think about it. Let me know if both of these statements are right, both of them are wrong, or one is wrong and one is right. We know that Taj Mahal lies in a campus, and as you enter the site of Taj Mahal, you will see that there is a humongous char bagh in front of it, and Taj Mahal lies at the end of the site. So we know from this that statement 1 is correct. But we also know that statement 2 is correct because the entire city of Agra is made out of red sandstone. Almost every old building there is made out of red sandstone, and Taj Mahal was made in white marble, especially because Shah Jahan wanted his building to be the most highlighting feature of the entire city and the entire region. So the answer to this will be option A. That is, both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Next question. How many minimum points are required to connect to create a 2D plane? 1, 3, 2, or 4? What can be the right answer to this? Exactly. Option B. That is 3. A plane can be made uniquely determined by any of the following 3 non-collinear points, that is, points not on a single line, a line and a point not on that line, or 2 distinct intersecting lines on parallel lines. Next question says, the Garden of the Heart documentary is based on which of the following renowned architects? So this is basically the name of a documentary, and it is based on the life of one of these 4 options, that is Santiago Calatrava, Renzo Piano, Kishore Kurokawa, or Joseph Allen Steen. Which famous architect is this documentary based on? Can you tell me the right answer? I'll just give you a small hint. You can see the image of that famous renowned architect here, and you can also see some of his projects. The second picture shows you the very famous India Habitat Center that is in Delhi. These are the famous louvers that are there in the roof of the courtyard. And yes, I've already received the right answer in the chat. Many of you are saying it's option D, that is Joseph Allen Steen. It is absolutely the right answer. Someone is asking about the river near Taj Mahal. Yes, exactly. It's the Yamuna River. Taj Mahal is situated on the banks of Yamuna River. Next question. There are 2 lists again. There are some pictures of some famous buildings in list 1, and name of the building and the architect who has made this building is given on the list 2. Now here we can see option B, India Habitat Center, that we just discussed about. So we know that J.A. Steen has made this India Habitat Center. So option B is right away matching with point 1 in list 2, that is India Habitat Center by Joseph Allen Steen. Look at all the other buildings as well. I'm sure you would be able to identify all 4 because they are very famous, very pioneer buildings of their styles in their times. Option D, yes, exactly. Option D is the Guggenheim Museum by FL Wright. And option C, very correctly, is the Haider Aliyev Center by Zaha Hadid, which means that option A, the image in option A, is the modern school in New Delhi, which was made by Jasbir and Rosemary Sachdev. So that means that the right answer is option C, which matches all of these correctly. Let's go to the next question. Where is the famous Notre Dame Cathedral, which caught fire very recently, located? You have 4 options in front of you. And I know that this was so much in news recently that all of you must be able to answer this. Very famous building, very remarkable, has many features of the Gothic architectural style. And yes, I've already received the right answer in the chat. It is option 1, that is Paris. You can see the image of the Notre Dame here. This was, of course, before the fire caught the building. And we know that conservation work has been ongoing since the fire has happened in this. And This is basically a Catholic church, and it is based on the principle of the Gothic architectural style. And it is very famous around the world for its huge size, its antiquity in design, and its architectural features. Let's go and check the next question. Where is the Bada Imambara located? Bada Imambara is a labyrinth that is in one of these Indian cities. Options are Kolkata, Mumbai, Hyderabad, and Lucknow. This is the image of the Bada Imambara on the left side of your screen, and these are some other important structures that are there in the same city. You can see a gateway on the right side of your screen. This is the Rumi Darwaza, and yes, I've already received the right answer. That is option D, Lucknow. Students, I can see that your preparation is very good for the coming exams, and most of you are giving all the right answers, which means that we are very hopeful for some great results from your side. Next question. Who amongst the following designed the Indian Institute of Management? We're talking about IIM, and the options are Charles Correa, B.V. Doshi, Louis I. Kahn, and A.P. Kanwinde. I'll just show you the picture of IIM Ahmedabad first, the IIM that we're talking about here. And this building is, of course, very famous for its structure, its design, and the impeccable use of natural lighting and shade in this building. And the right answer is option C, Louis I. Kahn. So these were all the questions that I wanted to discuss with you today. And we tried to gather all the questions from different kinds of topics that can come in your coming exams. Apart from these questions, many questions related to the color theory, the color psychology, many famous architects, questions about different UNESCO World Heritage Sites, questions about famous structures and monuments, famous religious structures, parts of religious structures, all can come. Different parts of the building, elements of a building, elements of design. You need to read about all of these topics. And if you solve some previous year questions as well, I'm sure that your exams will be great. If you have any doubts or if you want any help from me, you can just write in the chat and I will let you know. I'm here to solve your doubts and queries. If you want to discuss anything or if you need any help, you can write in the chat. Someone is asking about the UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Students, I would like to highlight here that there are many UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India. There are basically 3 types of sites on the basis of which UNESCO does its World Heritage listing. The first category is cultural sites. So in cultural sites category, all kinds of temples, mosques, palaces, all kinds of culture related buildings are there. Then the second category is natural sites. Biosphere reserves, national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, all such places of natural importance with great flora and fauna come under this category. And the third category is mixed site. That is a site which has the features of a cultural site as well, which means there are buildings and monuments. And it also has the features of natural sites. That is, there is a great flora, fauna, great biodiversity in that area. There is only one UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is a mixed site in India, that is the Kanchenjunga National Park. Apart from that, all the sites fall under the category of cultural heritage sites, and there are very few natural heritage sites in India. So if you know the names of these sites and if you know when these sites were nominated in the list, then it will be great from your exam point of view. Any other doubts, students?
Ma'am, if you could explain a little bit about some of the important awards, architecture awards.
Yes, there are many awards in the field of architecture. There are many fellowships and scholarships as well. And whenever some
Hello, ma'am. Can you just try
Hello?
unmuting? Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay now.
Yeah. Okay, so I was saying that whenever some pioneer works are done in the field of architecture, then it is given recognition on an international platform. One of the most famous architectural awards is the Pulitzer Prize, and we know that many people from around the world have won this prize. A very famous architect B.V. Doshi from India has also won this prize. Apart from that, there is the Aga Khan Award, This particular award is given to people who have done great architectural projects. Apart from Pritzker and Aga Khan Award, there is the Architecture Masters Prize. This is also something that is given to architects who have done many projects around the world, the projects which are renowned and respectable. Apart from these, there are many more awards. There is another award known as the AIA Gold Medal. This is a gold medal that is given to an architect who has done great work in the field of sustainable architecture. Many old architects, many architects who are famous historically have received this award. One of those pioneer architects is F.L. Wright. As we know that F.L. Wright has done many projects, and most of his projects were very well integrated with nature. You can see the example of the falling water. You can see many other examples and many other works by him. So this was one of the awards that was received by him. Apart from F.L. Wright, Frank Gehry was also someone who received the AIA award. Apart from that, there is another award known as the RIBA award. And these awards have started in a comparatively recent time. And these awards are given to architects who have designed site-based architecture. And many people have received this award as well, many famous and prestigious architects. So these are the 5 major awards in the field of architecture that we can see. Students, do you have any more queries?
Okay, so if there are any further questions, either you can post it in the live chat box, or you can also post them after the live is ended. So you can post them as a comment below this particular video. We would be happy to respond. And thank you, ma'am. Thank you for that lovely session. Thank you for elaborating on each and every question. So if there are any further questions or suggestions for students, you can post them below the comment section. And all the best, everyone, for all those who are preparing for the exam on 28th. And for the next session of JEE and also NATA, we have a crash batch that will be starting from the 20th of March. We have online and hybrid batches. So admissions have already started. So for further details, you can contact us at 8086111488. Okay. So thank you, ma'am, once again. And thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you. I would like to say all the best to all the students who are giving this exam, and I'm sure that all of you are going to do great.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you, everyone.